Hussein's stepson arrested. Suspected terrorist Jose Padilla remains in custody. Is law enforcement sending a message that they'll protect our homeland at any cost? Joining us from D.C. is George Washington University Professor Amitai Etzioni and Joseph Onyx, Senior Counsel at the Constitution Project. Thanks, both of you, for being here. Joseph, since September 11th, Americans have had to fight an enemy that we're not used to fighting. This is someone who melds into society. The rules are not the same.
Well, I think the rules are not the same, but the basic principles should be the same. The Pledge of Allegiance, which we've been talking about recently, says, "One nation under God, with liberty and justice for all." And to me, justice for all means that everybody, even an alleged terrorist, deserves a fair trial.
Amitai, do you agree?
God, no. We are being attacked. We are at war. So first of all, in war, many of the rules which apply in peacetime are suspended. You get medals for killing people. In peacetime, you go to jail for killing people. But even more important, the way we attack this time are by people masquerading as civilians. And as I know from my own experience, I used to do that myself, I regret to say, in my youth fighting the occupation, that you can nosy up, as Reed did on the airplane, look like a civilian, attack, and then disappear into the crowd. Means you are not playing by the rules of war. And so the only way we can protect ourselves against such cowardly attacks, where people pretend to be civilians and focus on attacking civilians, is by throwing the book at them. Now, liberty for all, the Constitution never meant to be applied to all the gangsters in the world. And last but not least, if an American raises an arm against us, the Constitution says they are traitors, and they should be treated as traitors.
Richard Reed was not an American citizen, the so-called shoe bomber.
Right.
Jose Padilla is an American citizen. You don't think that there should be any differential between treatment?
Padilla should be punished more severely.
More severely?
Well, yes, of course. Look at any other crime. Somebody assaults your child, some stranger, that's bad enough. Your own family attacks your child, we are extremely outraged. By the way, again, people want to go by the text of the Constitution. The Constitution calls them traitors. The others are just enemies. The notion that somebody of your own community would attack you is particularly troubling, particularly offensive.
Joseph?
Well, they may be traitors, but of course traitors are tried. They are given a fair trial. Reed is being tried. Moussaoui being tried. The problem is that Jose Padilla is not being tried. He hasn't been charged with treason. He hasn't been charged with anything. He's over in a military base somewhere. If the Chinese did that to an American citizen, we'd be outraged. If China arrested an American citizen in Beijing and said, "We're not going to tell you where he is, we're just going to ship him to a base, we're not going to charge him with anything, he can't have a lawyer, he's never going to be tried, the American consulate can't see him," we'd be outraged. But we're doing it to one of our own citizens.
God protect us from the lawyers. So here you're going to go and do it. You're going to take Reed, let's say the shoe bomber, and you're going to say, "Are you sure that's the right guy? Bring me 16 witnesses. Maybe it was talcum powder in his shoes. Show me the chain of custody. The judge is going to release him on bail on his own reconnaissance or what. They're going to do what they did in the O.J. Simpson trial. Could it be somebody else? And they're going to play all these legal games to get somebody we know. We know we have 2 witnesses, I think, will do it. And yes, we should check if he's insane or not. But to give him this legal games we have these days, which we're entitled to for somebody, a garden variety criminal, but terrorists should be tried by separate rules. They should not have access to all our sources. They should not be able to find out who our agents are. They should not be able to cross-examine the FBI. They should be given a trial, but before a military tribunal under special rules set aside for terrorists.
Amitai, if let's say Richard Reed was wearing a uniform and was fighting for a specific government's military that was fighting against us, would the rules change?
Of course. That's why the Geneva Convention applies. But then he couldn't go on an airplane with a bomb. All these indignities we suffer, where we have to stand in lines and show ID cards and being searched, all the billions of dollars we spent are all the result that these guys won't fight us like upstanding soldiers with uniforms representing a government, because they sneak in as civilians and largely attack civilians. They set a different set of rules, and we need to counter those, or we'll not be able to protect ourselves.
Joseph, 10 seconds, final word.
I think the important thing is that we have to be smart. If Jose Padilla, a Puerto Rican from Chicago, could get into Al-Qaeda, why doesn't the CIA have agents in Al-Qaeda? What have they been doing the last 10 years? That's what counts, not stripping away the Constitution.
Joseph Onek, Amitai Etzioni, thank you both for being here today.
Thanks.
All righty, just ahead, strikes against Iraq may be imminent, but do we have the best plan intact for targeting Saddam Hussein? We'll target that coming up.